Shalom, welcome to Purim 5781. It's a difficult year. We're here in Israel, we have the COVID, like everybody else has the COVID, and it's driving everybody crazy, right? Which is the atmosphere of Purim. You know, you act crazy and whatnot. So we have to daven hard that we're able to understand what Purim has to do with COVID, with the corona disease. As far as we're concerned, Purim, you know the story. Achashverosh was king. As Rashi starts off to Megillah, Hu Achashverosh, he was Achashverosh, B'rish Osoi Mitchilosa V'Atzoifoi. He was a wicked person from the beginning to the end. He was wicked, Achashverosh, completely wicked. And later on, he killed his wife. He took Esther. Then he made Haman, the big shot. Right? So it happened. But Hashem helped us. There was Mordechai, a tzaddik, and he stood by us. And he made sure that we were zoicha to get out of this mess. How do we get out of the mess? Well, this was because of tefillah. He screamed, he cried out a terrible, painful cry. And the Jews cried, and they davened to Hashem. And when we all got together and davened to Hashem, it worked. And we ended up with a holiday of Purim. It's the same thing with the corona. We are amidst a big problem. There's lockdowns all over the world. Person can't leave your house, you can't go too far. Maybe you can go to the store to buy what you need, maybe not. And there's all different kinds of things happening. But the whole idea is that we're supposed to turn to Hashem. We're supposed to say, Hashem, where are you? I said to someone, he asked me about what's going on with the country? What do we have here with Corona, with the lockdowns, with lockdown? They locked down the airport, they locked down the cities, they locked down. I said, they tried everything. Masks and minimum amount of people. You have a shul, no more than 20 people. Then they made a minyan, no more than 10 people. Then they said you can only daven with a minyan with 5 people. I mean, they're going crazy and they're trying to figure out what to do, how to stop the disease from spreading. They haven't been successful. So the guy asked me, what do you suggest? I said, take any morning, Monday morning, or Tuesday morning, it doesn't matter. Take a time, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and have the entire country say Tehillim. Right? At one moment, have everybody daven to Hashem. Did they try that? No. That hasn't been tried yet. But that's what worked for Mordechai and Esther. And that's what worked for Klal Yisrael all the years. When you go back in history and you see what the nations have done to Klal Yisrael, the major ones are known. The Inquisition, the Crusades, when they ravaged hundreds of Jewish communities, the Khmelnytsky massacres, the Holocaust, right? When you see what the Arabs are doing to Klal Yisrael, and you realize that we are still here. None of those countries are exactly as they were when they started out 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. Everyone has changed. They've changed their ideas. They've changed whatever's happening with them. Purim tells us the reason why. Because we daven to Hashem. Purim is the most joyous day of the Jewish calendar. Sukkot, it says, "V'somachta b'chagecha." You should be happy on your yontif of Sukkot. But Purim is a day when everybody lets loose. Everybody takes all their inhibitions. They drink, they get drunk, and I'm not suggesting that we do that. I mean, Shulchan Aruch does, and I've done it during my lifetime. But you have to be careful if you're going to drink. The advantage of drinking is that you let loose all your inhibitions. All that, what is inside, comes out. Was a shikar hot offen ling, a shikar hot offen sing. What a sober person has on his lungs, a drunk person has on his tongue. It's an old saying in Yiddish. It's in English too. And we're inhibited. We're inhibited by what? That's the question we have to ask. Purim started because there were no inhibitions, but there was no accounting either. There was no responsibility. Achashverosh made a feast 180 days in his courtyard. He had everybody come. The Gemara says, why were the Jews of that generation punished? Because they partook of Achashverosh's meal. They took part of his party. Or they bowed down to idolatry. Both of those cases are present today. There's always the idea of partying, entertainment, right? We have entertainment today on Purim. But to have entertainment for 180 days straight without thinking of Hashem is pretty rough. And that's the idolatry that they bowed down to in the Nebuchadnezzar. Also was pretty rough. But the idolatry is not just an idol. Idolatry is anything that we run after. Let's say it's money. We run after the dollar. We need it. We all need it. And we should have it. May Hashem bless Klal Yisrael that they have more than what they ever need, so that they're all comfortable. Why not? But do we run after it? Do we pursue it and spend all our time and our minds and everything concentrated on that? Well, that's how Purim started. That's how the Gzeira, the decree of Haman began, because we ran after things that weren't really ours. We can run after sports. I played sports when I was young. Basketball, baseball, football, swimming. I did all of that. I loved it. But do we have to be immersed in it? We have to watch the game? Do we have to be? I wonder, when they have the football games in the middle of the winter, in these cold states, imagine there's 22 people who get paid millions of dollars to work around the field. 22 people. But you have 40, 50,000 people sitting in the stands. They're there from 5 o'clock in the morning with blankets, with coffee, and thermoses, and whatever. They'll sit there and they'll freeze, all in order to watch 22 people get on the game and watch the game. The Super Bowl, what it does, amazing. It's great. It's entertainment. It's sports. It's good. It's a nice, good game. I still love it, even now. I'm 75, and I can still watch a good game. I like it. But do we run after it? Is that our idolatry? And there's so many other things. Or we ate from Achashverosh's Suda. Did you ever imagine what goes on in the food industry? Right? You have all the fast foods, you have all the fancy restaurants, you have all the different diet fads, you have the health fads, it's amazing how much energy is put into food, into a simple meal, that all you have to do is eat a regular meal and it's fine, right? But no, I have to lust after it. It's idolatry and whatnot. Purim started because of that. But, well, let's say that Corona started because of things like this too. Hashem does not send down to the world a plague that will harm so many people unless there's reason for it. So we sent down this plague. Now it's up to us to turn to Hashem. The beginning of the miracle was when the Jews turned to Hashem and they started crying. The biggest miracle was when they screamed out to Hashem. That's the miracle. The miracle, whatever happens, Hashem split the sea. Hashem brought 10 plagues. In the time of David HaMelech, there were miracles. In the time of Shmuel HaNavi, there were miracles. In the time of the temple, there were miracles. The biggest miracle is that we turn to Hashem and cry out to Hashem, Hashem, where are you? Where are you? What is happening? People are dying. People are sick. People are suffering. People are losing their livelihoods. Look what's happening in the world. We have to cry out to Hashem. That's what Purim is all about. Our inhibitions that we're afraid, or no, maybe someone will say something. How is it going to look in the eyes of the others, of my neighbors, of the community, of the United Nations? What's going to happen, right? Today we have our Haman. We have the elected officials of the United States. We have the United Nations. We have the ICC, the International Criminal Court, which has just ruled that they have made a state of Palestine, and they are the judges to judge whether or not Israel committed crimes. They don't judge that the Palestinians are terrorists and that they throw missiles against civilians. That they never say. So we have our Haman today too. And there's many more, but I don't want to go into any details. But you take a look at what's happening, and there's a miracle of Purim. There's a tremendous miracle of Purim. But the miracle is the fact that we turn to Hashem. We call that Vayizak Za'oko Gedoyla Umura. Mordechai went out into the street and he taught the people, scream, cry out to Hashem. Hashem, where are you? Why are we suffering like this? How can you end the suffering? Please end the suffering. That's what we have to do, right? We have to take that and we have to take our prayers to Hashem. Then we come to the actual miracle of Purim. All of a sudden, the guy who was against us now is gone. Those who rose up against us all the years, all the generations, Khmelnytsky, the Inquisition, the Nazis, the Crusaders. Imagine that. The Crusaders, the Pope called for people to rise up and go to the Holy Land to defeat the Muslim conquerors. How can we allow the infidel Muslims to take over the Holy Land? That was the Pope's cry. And all the people in Europe got together and they ran through Europe, France, Germany, all these countries, and they murdered the Jews in France, in Germany, in Austria, and wherever else that they were able to make the Crusades, right? But in the end, the Crusades failed. Nothing happened from it for the sake of the church. But The Jews were hurt, and they were hurt in Haman's time, and they were hurt today. We're hurting today. We're hurting very much today. There's a lot of problems, a lot of difficulties. Our miracle, if we want it to happen, is we get together, say Tehillim, say Psalms, cry out to Hashem, have what Rabbi Nachman says, Hispoidedus is your private secluded prayer to Hashem. Talk to Him, speak to Him. Purim, as Reb Nosson brings, is from the word pirurin. Pirurin in Hebrew means crumbs, right? Crumbs. What are we, as far as the whole world is concerned? We're crumbs to be beaten upon. Look at the rise of anti-Semitism today. They look at the Jewish nation as the crumbs to be trampled upon, thrown away, discarded, murdered, whatever. And yet, we have Purim. Purim takes the word pirurim, crumbs, and tells us that maybe we have to improve ourselves. Maybe if we think ourselves as crumbs, then we deserve what we get. But we have to realize we're not. We, the Jewish nation, are not crumbs. We are a lofty nation. We are a great nation. Look at our history and see that wherever the Jews went, they built. Wherever they lived, they built. They were destroyed, they went elsewhere, and they built again. Our mission, if you wish to accept it, is to cry out to Hashem. Take the miracle of Purim, what it means. We were crumbs, we were nobody. No, we're a great nation. We do tremendous chesed, acts of kindness. Wherever you go, there's Jewish kindness. Wherever you go, there's Jewish hospitality. Wherever you go, Hashem takes care of us. Wherever we go, Hashem takes care of us, and Hashem watches over us. And the miracle of Purim will happen again. The miracle of Purim will be for us to enjoy, to rejoice, even let ourselves go a little bit. Why not? Why not? Why do I always have to be so inhibited? No, I could make myself happy. That's the joy of Purim, to make yourself happy. Cry out to Hashem. I did my job because I cried out to Hashem. So there I can enjoy now and be happy with my lot. May Hashem help us that we all have a great Purim and that we are all, Be'ez Hashem, free of COVID, free of the corona disease, free of any inhibitions, free of any restraint from taxes, from loss of income. We should have everything good for all of Israel. Amen v'amen.